All right, y'all, listen. So I came across this just tonight. Been kind of in and out all day, but I watched Benny Johnson. That's no secret, guys. A big shout out to Benny Johnson. A big shout out to Charlie Kirk in this video also. So I thought this was very interesting, and it's got me really buzzing here. So Charlie Kirk had an idea here where I want to let him explain the details about it, but because I don't want to get anything wrong, but apparently there's a chance that Trump could take Nebraska, and this would take away an electoral vote from Joe Biden. So if Trump could win Nebraska, this would cause Joe Biden to lose a lot of money on campaigning. Not only that, but it would break the blue wall. So this is very interesting. And I want to let Charlie Kirk explain a little bit. And I'm going to jump right over to his podcast and show you guys exactly what he's talking about. I think it's a very strategic plan. Catches the Democrats right off guard. Charlie Kirk's going to give you a brief explanation about how this could work.
See this morning, Charlie, everyone is losing their minds, and they don't do this unless you really caught them, and it seems like you did here.
Well, I'm not taking credit for any of it. We just happened to notice something, and to kind of put the pressure of the audience and of our platform. And so we run these equations a lot, 270towin.com. I did a whole segment on the Nebraska thing months ago, and it just didn't catch fire. People just didn't care, and they're like, oh, whatever. And call it maybe just the collapse of the country. A lot of people feel as if they want to do something right now, that they wish the election was like today. And President Trump being the presumptive nominee, I mean, he is the nominee. All these factors and forces kind of came together, and just seeing how outrageous the Democrats have been behaving, it just was right place, right time. So we sent up this tweet and we said, hey, do you know that Donald Trump could win Nevada, win Arizona, win Georgia, and lose the presidency? And it was the tweet heard around the world. We did an entire show on it, impromptu, on our podcast, broadcast, every streaming channel, Real America's Voice. And we said, hey, contact the governor. And I had no idea what to expect. 5 hours later, the governor of Nebraska comes in and he says, I'm in support of this. I'm like, wow. President Trump, a couple hours later, says, I'm in support of this. Again, I'm not taking credit for any of this. Credit to the great governor, credit to President Trump. Yesterday, Senator Ricketts, who really runs the state of Nebraska, former governor, very well-liked, very influential in the state of Nebraska. He comes out and he says, I'm in support of this. Now, there's some legislative hurdles that we're still working through, the parliamentarian stuff. The Democrats are freaking out. There are some moderates that are trying to, make this not happen. But the votes are there, meaning that it's just a matter of getting to the filibuster. I'm happy to go into that, Benny, if you want, but that's not as interesting. I'm confident that we can navigate this, and we're keeping the pressure on. I'm going to Nebraska next week, either to celebrate or to try to strategize to get this thing across the finish line, because the powers to be are aligning in Nebraska, and the significance of this is profound. If we are able to get this done, this takes an electoral vote from Joe Biden and allows Nebraska to be in alignment with 49 other states of how they count their electoral votes.
So these headlines are wild, Charlie. Again, it only hurts when you push on something that's infected. They only scream when it really hurts them, when they're really upset about something. Here we go from Forbes this morning. Here's why Nebraska could cost Biden the election. These are the headlines that are being written right now about this strategy. So clearly, and we've just played segment after segment of libs just losing their minds over this. I mean, you've really unleashed the whirlwind, as it were. They're going to try to stop this. What's the best path forward? We did cover the news that there was a flip in the Senate. Maybe this is just providential. But there was a flip in the Senate. Now there's a filibuster-proof majority, I believe, in the Nebraska.
If that Democrat votes in favor of this, which we don't know. So last night, someone tried to attach it to an amendment. That failed. That's fine. There's going to be another attachment. The governor could call a special session under this one subject, which is great. The governor has voiced support of this, right? The president has voiced support. So there's so many options at our disposal to get this done. We just have to have the will to get this done. Currently, there is one holdout that we know of. His name is Senator Brandt.
I've already called Senator Brandt. All right. I've already called him. I left a message, just like Charlie said, hey, look, just be nice to them. His name is Senator Brandt, Brandt. He's a senator of Nebraska. So the governor's in favor, Trump's in favor of this, and according to Charlie, there's just we just need to push it. We just need to stretch for it. And I think we can do it. But I want to go over to Charlie's podcast here, and I want you to hear how this actually works, because this is very interesting. I've never heard of this, and I'm interested to learn a little bit more about how it works. Let's take a look.
In Nebraska, they appropriate their electoral votes based on congressional district. And also, 2 of the votes go to who wins the entire state. Joe Biden got one of those electoral votes in 2020. Obama got one of them in 2008. We were playing around on 270win.com, and I didn't see any real Republican focus or effort to try to get this done. So we decided to make a point of it. You decided to make a point out of it. Now, this is far from over. The fight is on, everybody. But what happened yesterday was one of the great movements that we've seen in quite some time. The power of this audience, the power of all of you that picked up your phones, that decided to let your voice be heard, in particular, those of you in Nebraska. We sent out a tweet yesterday saying that Nebraska needs to fix this. This is a way to guarantee Donald Trump gets another electoral vote. It guarantees another vote to make Donald Trump more likely to become the 47th president of the United States. It opens up Nevada. It opens up different pathways. And if you're trying to win the presidency, you want as many options as possible.
Yes.
Our working theory on this program is that the Rust...
if you're trying to win anything, you need as many options as possible. All right, so we're going to dig right into this. I'm very interested to know how this is going to work. And if I can call, I'm going to call some more. Okay, I want to call until I get somebody on the phone, because I do that anyway. Okay. So kudos to Charlie for just being so diligent, man. I mean, this is like my brother, for real. Diligence, man. Just, he never gives up. It's like me, like all the guys, all the conservative guys out there, man. Let's work together. We can take our country back, man, but we can do it the right way.
Belt elected Donald Trump in 2016, and the Sun Belt very well might elect Donald Trump in 2024. It stops giving Democrats a free electoral vote in a red state in every election indefinitely. So we decided to make a point out of it. And the governor of Nebraska, to his great credit, Governor Pillen, came out and said, I support this bill and I will sign it. That came out of nowhere. But it came from you. It came from the grassroots. It came from the people. President Trump, a couple hours later, came out and said, I love this bill. Let's sign this. Let's get this done. Let's make this happen. And now all eyes and the eyes of the nation are on the unicameral Nebraska legislature. We have to get this out of committee and get it to a floor vote. Now, they're doing a lot of different excuses right now. We have to keep on calling. We have to keep the pressure on. And now Democrat operatives from San Francisco to Seattle to L.A. to Chicago to Boston to D.C.
Tears. Lib tears. That's what they're having convulsions. Okay? They're going through shock right now. Okay? They're not ready for it. All right, this is what happens when conservatives actually think strategically. That's all we need to be doing. These people on the left, they plan everything. Like Charlie was saying, they plan everything, okay? All right, they're very organized, all right, when it comes to winning their elections, okay? We've got to get overly organized. Like, we got to overdo it, all right? Every day, I'm going to overdo it. Tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, I'm on the phones, okay? I'm on the phones about this. I'm going to come back and let you guys know when I have more information about it.
Are freaking out because this changes the entire electoral math for Joe Biden. If Nebraska gets this done, Joe Biden's path becomes harder. Don't take my word for it. MSNBC laying it out saying if Nebraska acts, Joe Biden cannot win the presidency just by rebuilding the blue wall. That's how big this is. Play cut 59.
So, Jim, it is never too early to talk about 270, the magic number.
No.
And there's some development.
Let's talk about the map.
Yeah, let's talk about the map for a second, because there's a buzzing about Nebraska right now. The governor there has thrown his support behind an effort that would no longer allocate the electoral votes by congressional district. Because right now, it's 5 votes there. Technically, Republicans get 4, and President Biden, Democrats get the 1 from Omaha.
That's right.
If that changes, and we don't know that it will, the state legislature is going to look at it. But if that changes, that takes away Biden's best path to win, because if he wins Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, but loses the other swing states and no longer picks up the 1 in Nebraska, 269, that leads playbook this morning, the alarm among Democrats that this is possible.
Oh, it's possible. And the alarm is on. Joining us now is the state party chair of the state of Nebraska, Eric Underwood. Eric, welcome to the program. Eric,
hey, Charlie, how are you?
Great. So give us the update from the ground in Nebraska. What do we need to do to get this thing done?
Well, you've been doing a lot of what I was hoping to have done there. By you bringing in the outside influence is what's going to make a big difference here. We found that this bill, the winner take all, has not only national attention and national effect. It affects us here in Nebraska more than we ever realized. Many of the senators that are at the unicameral would not have to fight so much Democratic money if this one electoral vote wasn't given away to the Democrat. So what we need to do is understand that the unicameral is a one lawmaking body in Nebraska. So you've got 49 individuals that decide. In this situation, we've got to get 32 to 33 of them to get through our filibuster, and then they can move this bill through and get it signed to the desk of our governor, Jim Pillen, who has already said that he's going to vote for it. Right now, it's in a committee. That committee needs to vote it out so it can have debate on the floor. That's the first step.
So what is the action item for the committee? Mr. Aguilar has now said he supports this, which is great. He has pointed us to now Tom Brewer. Is that correct?
So Senator Brewer is the committee chair, and the committee chair then helps plan the agenda for any subcommittees that go through there. Most of our committees have 7 or 8 individuals that would be voting on to get it through. Senator Aguilar and Senator Sanders are in agreement with this. That would make it a 6-2 vote to move this bill to the floor. So respectfully, and I have a great relationship with Senator Brewer, I think that this is something that they can help get done to move this out of committee and then get it back onto the floor. And that's where the interesting time comes of our process, where it'll have to be voted on 3 times by a minimum of 25 people to pass it each time. But we have to deal with the filibuster. To break that filibuster, we need 33 votes. And as you just appropriately said, we have 1 more Republican unicameral senator as of today.
That is huge and breaking. So there's another objection that some of these senators are saying. They're saying that it's not a priority bill and they don't have time to get to it. That just sounds like a bunch of wonky nonsense to me. Explain.
Well, when it looks at our legislative session, this is a 60-day session. We had a 90-day session last year. But you made the point, and I think it's appropriate. If there was an emergency, how do we get something through here? There comes a point where you have to decide what the priority is, and both politically, but also what would help us nationally when it comes to whoever the Republican candidate is going to be, and we know who that's going to be, President Trump. This is a great move to help us, and you can tell that the Democrats are absolutely going insane over this. Politically, in Nebraska, that means that we're not going to have $8 million go through the Democratic coffers like it did in 2020. $8 million. We have over 250 outside individuals that donate to the Democratic Party, like George Soros and Steven Spielberg and Jeffrey Katzenberg. Those individuals are affecting Nebraska politics. Why? They care about Omaha or Sarpy, other counties that are in Douglas or in Congressional District 2. No, they care about the fact that there's 1 electoral vote. So if we can move this to the floor and you can get 33 senators to automatically just vote for cloture, which bypasses the filibuster, we could move this through if they wanted to. But they have to make it a priority. And that's a priority in the sense that this is important priority.
So it can be done. Just to be clear, there's no provision that disallows this from becoming law. Is that correct?
Procedurally, they could make this happen if they push this forward. If they came together, if they coalesced, and obviously with the governor's support, he wouldn't veto it. He's shown that he wants this to be one of his priority finishes to this congressional district or to this Senate unicameral session. as well as the fact that we could also continue into a special session if we want to. We're not done. This can be done. They just have to make that choice.
This sounds like it's going to take some courage, okay? Oh, man. If I could just pray for some courage right now, yo. Give these Republicans some courage in the name of Yeshua. We really need this to happen for many reasons. Man, this would be an absolute game changer for all of us. So I think that I'm going to go ahead and try to digest what I just heard, do a little bit of research about it, find out more, and talk to you guys a little bit later. This has been Yup, I Said It. Get on the phone with that senator from Nebraska, Brandt. Tell him what the deal is, man. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, guys. Thank you.